Hi, my name is Matt Higby. I'm the creative director on Planetside II, and I'm here at SOE Live to talk about the game, talk about where we're at with beta, and what our plans are for launch.
All right, Matt, so tell us what's going on right now with the beta, with Planetside II.
Well, we've been adding lots of new content to the beta every week. We've been updating the beta with new bug fixes, new content, new tweaks to the game based on user feedback, as well as implementing new features and finalizing some of the stuff that we needed to get finished up. So we're really happy with where the beta's at right now. We're continuing to add some more stuff and continuing to obviously bug fix, optimize, and react to feedback. But we're feeling really solid right now, continually having thousands of players competing against one another, which is exactly what we're all about, and it's working really well. So we're pretty happy about that.
And you guys have 3 factions in the game. You have NC, the militaristic, and then the Vanu. How is it balancing those 3 factions so they're all on an even playing field?
Well, asynchronous balance is always a challenge, and with Planetside II having 3 different factions that we want to feel and play uniquely, it's been exceedingly tough for us to make them feel like they're balanced against one another but still unique. We're continuing to move forward with trying to get them to be as closely balanced as possible, making sure that their advantages and disadvantages counterbalance each other, and making sure that their advantages are situational and can be taken advantage of in tactical ways. So if you are Vanu and you're fighting against TR, there's specific ways that you can fight against them to really maximize your advantages. And as a TR player, you're going to want to try to attack them in ways that maximize your own advantages too. That's really where we're trying to go with our overall Empire balance is, rather than having it be completely homogenous, we really want you to be able to, as a player, intelligently choose the ways that you're going to engage the other enemies based on their weaknesses and their strengths.
And how much of a role has fan feedback in the beta played in your balancing this game and just making it better?
Well, our beta feedback has been enormous for helping us balance the game, but really the most important thing for us to balance the game is data. Getting those thousands of players on and playing for thousands of hours, firing billions of shots with all of our different weapons, has really helped us narrow in which weapons are overpowered, which weapons are playing correctly within their range that we want them to be playing in, which ones are the strongest and need to be nerfed, which ones are the weakest and need to be buffed. All that stuff is really coming from being able to analyze all this data that we're getting. We're getting reams and reams and reams of data coming in that we can analyze, and we have lots of really cool tools to be able to visualize the differences between weapons and stuff. But beyond that, definitely getting some qualitative feedback from our beta testers, letting us know, hey, beyond just the numbers, this gun just doesn't feel good. Maybe it is doing the right amount of damage, maybe it's not. But if it doesn't feel good, it doesn't matter. So those kind of things we are actually able to take advantage of our beta players and their comments on the boards, them coming and talking to us on Twitter, basically just letting us know which things are working for them and which things aren't, beyond just the numbers. And our beta players have been so fantastic with giving feedback and giving really meaningful and valuable feedback to us that I can't thank them enough for helping us make the game work.
What was one of the biggest changes you had to implement in Planetside II after the beta?
Well, a huge change that we've made is we've completely removed and retooled some of our resource systems. Resources were doing exactly what we wanted them to do. They regulated the fight, but they did it a little bit too well. If you were able to conquest too much of an area, it got to the point where you just could not fight back against them anymore, and it became almost impossible to break that stranglehold. With a persistent shooter like Planetside is, where your victories compound on one another. We didn't want to have the slippery slope problem where as soon as you start losing a little bit, you have lost and you can never recover. One of the keys to Planetside is the persistent nature. Having it be persistent means that you need to be able to give the underdogs the chance to be able to come back and fight again. And a lot of the things that we had in our resource system were really reinforcing the winners continuing to win. So we've had to actually remove a lot of those elements and go back towards doing things in a slightly different way in order to make sure that we have a more even competitive playing field.
You play you're a fan of the NC, as we all know by now.
Yeah.
And what makes NC unique is that they don't have the assets that the TR do. They don't have the technology that the Vanu does, but they use like prototype weapons. Kind of nerd out a bit about their lore for a second.
Well, I love the NC. I like the kind of do or die attitude that the NC have. They're not necessarily we have the best equipment, we have the most advanced technology. They're sort of supposed to be the make do with what you have empire. Their weapons are largely experimental, and they're really largely based on hit and run tactics. So the NC are sort of you don't see them coming, you just get slammed by them. If you do see them coming, you can stop them easily. So you get these guerrilla tactics, you get these sort of insurgent tactics with the NC, and that's sort of what they're all about. The original Planetside, one of the iconic weapons that the NC had was the Phoenix missile launcher, and we're going to put that weapon into Planetside II as well. But the way it worked was it was a camera-guided missile. It didn't have a lock-on, so you didn't get warned that it was coming at you, but it was really accurate because you could steer it and aim it directly where you wanted to go. A bunch of guys with Phoenix missiles could throw a ton of missiles at you, and before you even knew it, you just took a ton of damage and died. That's to me, that exemplifies what the New Conglomerate are. They're the jump out and surprise you faction, and I love playing that way. I want to be playing in the not necessarily the big organized group that you can see coming from a mile away, but they're going to overwhelm you with just complete numbers and firepower, like I consider the TR to be. Not the slick, fancy, we have weapons that are able to hit from a longer distance, we don't worry about bullet drop, all those kind of things. The hover tank, the maneuverability that the VS have. I just like we do a ton of damage, we do a lot of burst damage really quick, but it leaves us vulnerable afterwards. So we really have to hit hard, hit fast, and hit true to be able to succeed. That's the thing I like about the NC philosophy, and that's why I like playing that in Empire.